Today's stories include Nintendo saying no to generative AI, the good and bad of the First Descendant's first day, and a detailed look at Spider-Man in Marvel Rivals. We'll have all this and more because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome back to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Of course, I am your host, Tim Geddes, and I am joined by one of my best friends in the entire world, Greg Miller.
Let's just get it out of the way at the top. You fucking crushed that cold open.
Thank you very much.
One of your best performances
Thank you, I appreciate
ever, I would say on that. When you were on it, you were on point. You felt it sounded like you rehearsed it, but you hadn't rehearsed it.
I didn't. That was a first read, as
I
they say
will
in the
say
biz.
too.
Oh shit, he's got some criticism.
No, I was gonna add on to Greggy's compliment here. The last couple of cold opens that you've done, Tim, you've done like the little like click.
Yeah.
Right before the intro hits. And
Yeah.
you always get it in time. It's very impressive.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm hoping that everybody outside watching, listening, you're enjoying that as well.
Talk to me about this watch now. Is this the wedding watch?
What? Oh, this is a wedding watch. There's been a couple watches that I've been Instagrammed. You know what I mean? I saw them. They saw me looking at them too many times, so they just kept showing me it. And so I bought a couple. Over the last like 2 years, and I don't really like wearing things, but I'm trying to I want to. I like how it looks.
I
just get
appreciate that you
sweaty.
started this narrative. I don't like wearing things, so now when you don't wear the ring, oh gee, it was just a work trip.
she
I don't
knows.
like wearing things.
She knows. I mean, it's a big thing for me because you know me. I like to
Don't
be
like
a little.
wearing a condom. Am I right, Barrett?
Hey, I like being a little flamboyant. You know, I like being
the shirt
a little,
gives it all away. Yeah.
Exactly. I like being a little blingy. I like that. That's who I am. And I just don't like being sweaty. You know, I'm a man of comfort more than anything. And so that's kind of my biggest issue with all this. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy these watches. And I've had them. And I wore this one at my wedding because I wanted the gold to match all the gold.
Yeah.
And so here I am again. I'm like, well, you know what? It matches. There's some blue and there's some red on this.
So is it a smartwatch or is it just a watch? Because it's got blue rings and stuff.
No, just watch. There's a brand called Project 8.
Not sponsored
That
yet.
Wait, is that right? It's Project something.
Well,
Project
when you
8
sponsor
Tony
us,
Hawk
we'll
game.
fucking tell you what the name is.
But they're like weird art designer watches. So it's like they'll commission different artists to like come up with like really cool, unique type of watches. So another one I have, it looks like an old school CD player, and then the dial's like a CD. It's cool stuff. I don't know, but anyways,
have they commissioned Chris Anka to make a watch yet?
Not yet, but
maybe it's because he's just a doodler.
That is the type of thing that they would do. Yeah. Oh yeah. Chris Anka.
Find a real artist.
Let's get this.
A Jim
going.
Lee, not a Chris Anka. Where are the rest of the beard, you weirdo?
I hate you so much. I hate you because we have friends that I love dearly, and you just love to be such a fuck towards them at any given moment.
Chris Anka's been around a long time. First off, he was my friend first. All right,
I know that.
I brought him in here.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to do this to him.
You got him in the door, and then we helped him. We saved him. You know, we're just like, get away from Greg.
This
Come
is
to
everybody's
the
dream.
cool kids.
They get so close with us that I make fun of them.
Yeah, I get that. I hope they feel the same way. How are you doing, Greg?
Good. Up until the 5 seconds ago in this conversation, I realized I haven't brushed my teeth today. You know what I mean?
Oh.
How'd that happen?
Woke up late. Ben let us sleep in, which is nice.
Good for him.
But then it was, oh shit, I got to go. Blessing off today. I got to build games daily. But then I want to have breakfast with the fam. You know what I mean? So it was that thing where I was eating it, but I was looking at the clock. But I'm slacking all the games daily links to myself. I'm like, okay. And then it was like, all right, let's go. And it was run in there, and it's like I had just eaten. Like to the point where I was not ready to brush my teeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I was like, I will do this when I get to the office. But then I got to the office and did it.
Yeah.
Do you do the whole rigmarole? I'm going to brush my teeth. But I'll come back. I'll brush them on camera.
Real quick, Angelica Trey from the internet, TikTok, and just all the things. I saw her tweet yesterday that she just found out that people brush their teeth after eating breakfast.
Yeah.
And she's like, wow, I've been doing this wrong my entire life. And I'm just like, no, that's fucking insane.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I think it depends on what the flow of
The
your morning
timetable
is.
of the day is what I would say. Yeah. There's definitely been times where, yes, we wake up, we're going to go out for breakfast, we're going to go do a thing or whatever, then I'll brush my teeth. But if in general, no, I'm going to brush my teeth after I eat, because my problem is I don't like when the toothpaste nukes your mouth.
Yeah.
So then it's just all minty and I can't taste the food I'm eating.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I guess I'm not a breakfast guy in that way. So I guess like that just I just can't. Like to me, it's like you wake up, you brush your teeth. Like that's the first thing that I want to do.
You brush your teeth. Well, there's somebody saying brush after every meal. Oh, come on now, I'm not brushing after lunch. Well, I guess sometimes I do.
Well, I'm thrown off. Everything's off.
Well, real quick, I'm going to also then, I just saw the only Snowbike Mike walk in.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about him. I'm flipping stories 1 and 2 then. So
I appreciate that.
Sense.
Snowbike Mike's going to
that's a call out for you.
It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Greg, go brush your teeth.
Okay.
I want you to feel good. I want you to feel minty fresh. It's a big deal out here in these streets.
It is a big deal.
I hate the feeling of like my mouth feeling nasty. Like I need to be minty fresh at all points, at all times. And that's why it's like if you do that and then you eat later, then you get food taste in your mouth. I'm okay with food taste. I just don't like that fucking nasty mouth taste.
Yeah, the nasty
like
mouth
the morning
taste
breath,
is a lot.
like staleness.
Yeah. I feel like morning breath.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a Gregism. This is I am aware if I have bad breath or whatever. I feel like movies have overblown it though. I've never woken up with someone or seen someone in the morning, or even right now the conversation we're having, where it's like I haven't brushed my teeth yet. And I guess I shouldn't say that because that's putting the onus on you. I guess I can't smell, so I really shouldn't talk about this either. Maybe that's part of it too. Yeah, I've definitely had people like, oh man, you should go brush your teeth or whatever. You should take a mint.
I've never noticed a partner of mine having bad breath like that, even if they do. Like it's never like gotten in my way. But my breath is so bad in the morning that I notice, and it's not just in my head. It's like I smell it.
Oh no, I smell your breath though. I know you.
So yeah, it's bad. It's not good.
All right, I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
Brush away, Greg. Brush away. How you doing, chat? You doing good? I hope you're right. I could do the rigmarole. We're kind of funny games. You already knew that. We're a 11-person company out here in San Francisco. We do cool things, really cool things in this studio, this beautiful studio, thanks to your support. Your support with the Kind of Funny membership. The Kind of Funny membership gets you all the shows ad-free. You can watch them live as we record them, and you get a daily exclusive Gregway. Every single day, Greg talks about something. Usually he's answering some of your questions. What's he talking about today? I don't know. I don't know if he wrote it down. Did he? I'm going to look forward. It is. It's about PARRIS LILLY. It's about PARRIS LILLY talking about balancing his day job with games media work. So it's not even Greg. Greg's not doing it. It's PARRIS doing it. And I'm sure Greg's going to talk shit about PARRIS because that's what Greg does. He's a bad person. He's a really good person on the inside. But what comes out of his mouth is just vile, horrible bullshit. But anyways, you can get that show. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. A little important programming note for you. Tomorrow is the 4th of July in the United States. It is Independence Day, so you're going to have to watch every Will Smith movie in a row. We won't be doing shows Thursday or Friday here, so enjoy your independence, America, as Washington slowly strips it away. You wrote that?
I wrote that.
Good job. Good
it
job.
Sucks, man.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twiney. You are the absolute best. Today, we're brought to you by NVIDIA GeForce and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you all about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We got 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Story number 1. Snowbike Mike will be joining us for this. The First Descendant Day 1 reports. First Descendant Day 1 reports. The First Descendant enjoys big player numbers on Steam despite microtransaction hell. This comes from Wesley Inpool at IGN. Nexon's free-to-download looter shooter, The First Descendant, has enjoyed a huge launch on Steam, but players have hit out at ultra-aggressive microtransactions. The First Descendant is a Warframe-esque action game designed to be played co-op with friends with progression tied to a deep-rooted grind that involves completing missions and defeating bosses. But it's the monetization that sparked debate during the early days of the First Descendant's launch, as well as issues giving players rewards they're owed that have forced Nexon into offering compensation. Korean company Nexon, which is behind other multiplayer-focused free-to-play games such as Kart Rider Drift and MapleStory, shut the fuck up, MapleStory.
MapleStory.
Whoa. Launched the First Descendant with a backpack shop that sells everything you'd expect from a game of this type. A premium battle pass, new characters, premium character and weapon skins, and even experience boosts and increased inventory capacity. New characters, called Descendants, are sold for real-world money, so Mike's really excited. But the premium virtual currency, Caliber, is sold in bundles that come in just under the cost of a new character itself, forcing players to buy more virtual currency than they need, thus having some left over. That's fucked up. Caliber can
Real quick,
only...
Barrett, the mic's coming through on the big things. And I also want to call out that this morning I opened up Trello, which is where we do game codes or whatever. And I usually put in the card, like, oh, people are asking if we want to play this game. Does anybody want to code? Joey had put one in for the First Descendant. And I had been like, wait a second. I asked repeatedly throughout the week, hey, this game's coming up. I know it's free to play, but is there any kind of code anybody needs or anything like that? No. What she put in the body was, can we get Caliber for the battle pass so Mike and I don't spend more money?
We'll break this all down. While you can grind a lot for new characters, you can save time by spending money to buy them. You can also pay to gain immediate access to an Ultimate Descendant, which is a Descendant with better stats and an exclusive skin. Expect to pay upwards of $55 for one. The First Descendant also locks a paint to a skin, which means if you want to reuse a paint you've already obtained, perhaps from the Premium Battle Pass, you'll have to spend real-world money on it again. Some players have called the First Descendant predatory because of its monetization, while others have said it's par for the course when it comes to games from Nexon. On Steam, the First Descendant has a mixed user review rating, with many of the negative reviews focusing on the microtransactions, but others are also delivering their verdict on the gunplay and mechanics. One Steam user called the First Descendant microtransaction hell. Another said this game released with more real money purchasable items than actual gameplay mechanics. Despite all this, the First Descendant hit a Steam concurrent player count of 229,257, which was enough to put it in the top 5 most played games on Valve's platform. The game also launched on PlayStation and Xbox, but Sony and Microsoft do not make player numbers available. Shockingly, there are problems with the PC version.
I wrote this too.
Wesley at IGN says the First Descendant's rough launch continues with players reporting significant frame drops across PC and console. And then Baron Hardwidge at PC Games N says the First Descendant out of video memory, how to stop it crashing. But we've been streaming it. So with his thoughts so far, here's Snowbike Mike.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Hi,
Mike.
Tim.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Great seeing
Hello,
you.
Greg. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Always
Talk about
pleasure.
the First Descendant. Wow, what a write-up there. I have some thoughts to add on to all of that, but I'll give you my Snowbike Mike's initial thoughts after 4 hours of gameplay, and we're going to add a couple more later this afternoon on our Twitch stream to show you some more about the game if you want to hear a little bit more about me and Joey. That's a shot of Greg's drinks over there. But what you need to know...
Hold on now. You got. Well, this isn't a drink. This is my spit in my toothpaste.
Okay.
All right, that's my toothbrush.
That's a drink to
Spit.
some, Greg.
I
That's
wonder
a
if he was
drink to
going to
some.
swallow it. That's
No,
what
do you
I thought
do
you were
that?
gonna go- Well, I mean, you were on set and thought like, oh, he's going to go badass mode and just swallow
I'll
all
tell
of
you
this.
what. If it would have happened later in the show, I would have spit it right in Tim's face.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I'll get for you guys. I'll move the thermos.
Okay.
All right, the thermos is here for a coffee refill.
Oh, I like that.
Thanks for shaming me, everybody. I guess bullying works, huh? Look in the mirror tonight, guys, and think about what you're doing to your life.
Let's
about
jump in and let's talk about this game. I'm going to give you the Snowbike Mike initial impressions, and then we'll talk about that article and the microtransactions. My initial impressions go like this. At surface level, it's flashy. It's interesting. It's fun. It's kind of what you want, right? It's like this Destiny looter-shooter co-op action game that has some fun, like, traversal and movement mechanics with its grapple hook, along with pretty decent third-person shooting action, right? The issue is after you get past service level, it's just dull and boring and repetitive. The missions are the same structure in different, very bland areas. The AI enemies are just mindless, and it's just wave after waves of just either a big-ass bullet sponge or an enemy that has 3 bullets worth of health and then is gone off the battlefield on top of that. Then once you get into that right there, it's just becoming this thing of you listen to the writing and the voice acting of the characters and you try to grab a hold of the story, and it's almost just AI jargon. It's like, did AI write this? There's no feeling behind this. There's no soul, Tim, when you meet these characters. But I'll tell you, it's an Exxon game, and man, these character models are gorgeous. I am always blown away by that. I do appreciate a really incredible character model, but on top of that, then you choose these Descendants. And a lot of these First Descendants, their moveset is just boring. I'm currently choosing the damage over time Poison Girl, and these are not flashy to look at on the screen. They are not cool in any way, shape, or form. It is just shoot a generic little poison grenade that will affect one person, and it's just kind of doing damage on them. There's no wild colors. There's nothing really signifying you're doing something really cool on the screen. And I know that might not fit into the aesthetic of the look of it, but man, a lot of this just does not look good. And so
I have 2 questions on
Yeah,
this,
of
if
course.
you don't mind.
Yeah,
Number
jump
one,
in.
Barrett's showing this trailer. Could we actually see the stream? I've never seen, if we go, we watched yesterday's stream, the footage of it. I don't know what this game actually looks like. I've seen that before. I don't know what it looks
Let's
like.
jump in there.
That's number one. Number 2, you talked about I've chosen to play this Descendant. One of the big things in the story here is how much Descendants cost, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. Are you given, like, at the start, you can pick one, or is it you have, like, 4 that you can switch between?
You
and do
pick out of 3.
Okay.
So there's 3 to choose from, and get this. Whichever one you pick, then you don't get the other 2. So you'll have to
lame.
circle back
Fucking
and unlock
lame.
them or pay for them. And so the price tag
this is
currently
pretty,
for
though.
one of them is about $10 to unlock a Descendant right off the rip. You will be able to unlock them through the game. Another game mechanic I don't like is when you finish a mission, you don't get those items sucked into you, or they just don't come with you at like Destiny.
You gotta pick them up.
And so I missed one of the bunny unlockables to unlock the next character, Bunny, on that. So I have to redo the mission. And so then we work our way up to level 10 to go fight this, what would be like a larger dungeon type situation. And it is the crab boss that you see in the tutorial, just with a whole lot more health. And the issue with that is we are in an ultra bland, like kind of combat room scenario. And it's just a bullet sponge. Nothing is really happening. This is the first boss you encounter.
This is a boss
named Greg.
Greg the Starcross.
And,
Hold on, now I'm going to come back in. Come back
what
in.
the battle looked like for about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Us shooting this guy, and the only move that he had was he would drop bombs on you, and so you'd wait for the red circle to fill up that you're seeing currently on the screen, and then you would dodge out of it at the last moment. But this is what the gameplay looks like for 4+ hours and onward. And so I think people, like I said, there's something here at surface level where you go, oh, wow, this is new, this is fresh, this is fun, it's free to play with my friends. And then once you get past that, you will either get dedicated into the menus, which it has a lot of menus going on, or you will say, okay, enough of this mindless action, I need to move on to something else, okay? And so that's my initial impressions there. I am done with this game after today's stream. I probably will not return to this. But let's talk about the microtransactions.
But you are returning for today's stream. Like, you guys are choosing
Joey was having fun. And I am willing to go a little bit further because I'd like to talk about this next week and see if Andy's played it, if Joey wants to talk more. Maybe after my initial 4 hours, once we get into 7 to 10 is different. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you, it crashed on me, and I said, okay, we're good. We're done on this game forever.
Except for today when you're coming back to it because you want to help Joey. Is Joey having like, and I don't know, ask you to put words in her mouth. Is she actually having a good time?
This is the ultimate, I don't want to call it a Joey game, but this is the ultimate Joey game of you could put on The Bachelorette on one screen and just zone out mentally, right? This is the ultimate podcast game, as people like to say, where I'm just mindlessly killing things and I'm just watching a TV show in the background because there is no challenge on the screen at all. There's nothing that's mentally taxing me to go, oh, I got to snap out of watching this.
Gotcha.
And so...
Give me the one. Joey, come back to Diablo. Don't play this shit. Come on now. I know you haven't put in the work on Season of Loot like I'm out there right now with Wonder Woman. Come on, Joey. Make the right call. Make the right decision. Back to Mike.
Let's talk about the microtransactions, Tim. Scroll me up there. So, like I said, to buy a new Descendant off the bat, if you didn't like the 3 options that you can choose from at the beginning of the game and you didn't want to unlock them the way through the gameplay, you have to spend $10, which then leaves you with currency left over that is not enough to buy anything further. I can't even buy makeup for my character, which comes with facial makeup and a hairstyle. I don't have enough for that, so I have to give them more money for that. Man, another odd one. We're still in this world. Maybe I'm just not in it. I don't understand it. But we still have maid outfits for all the female characters. And it's just like, all right, I guess we're doing that still, right? And then I like 1 out of the 7 outfits offered for my character. It's another 750 Nexon coins, which then would cost me $15 to buy. And I don't think we're at a point where it's like, that's crazy, right? Like, I'm on Call of Duty paying $15 for a bundle. I'm on Fortnite paying $7 to $15. So, like, to me, that is where the number normally is. Now, I get it. Oh, you're wowed going, oh, man, 1 out of the 15 Descendants, I got to pay more money to be a new Descendant. Yeah, that sucks, right? The idea of paying money for inventory slots, that's insane. I don't like that at all. That's crazy to me. And so there's some question marks there, but the initial cost seems to be market value of everything else that I'm seeing in any other online free-to-play game that we're seeing. So it's not like, oh, this is crazy numbers. It's just like when you read, hey, you can get the Ultimate Descendant for $60 and he has increased stats and has a cool gold armor. Yeah, that's a little outrageous for sure.
And do you think the difference being that Call of Duty may be similarly priced, but there's a lot of meat to that bone there where there's not here?
Well, I mean, like, I think Call of Duty is just a known entity, right? Now we're jumping into a new game, and it's just like first reactions, right? It's kind of like Halo when they did the microtransactions. It was the first time having that in the game where you go, okay, where are you going to price it? Oh, I'm stunned that Master Chief outfit is $15. I didn't want y'all to do that. But in reality, they're probably looking at the market going, oh, yeah, this is the same price as everything else. That's how much the Master Chief outfit is. So I think for this one, it's just a new game jumping in, and we're wowed by that. And of course, there is very shady microtransactions. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that, like, the normal pricing is online with everything I see elsewhere.
Gotcha.
So then I have a couple questions.
Yeah,
to
let's
follow
talk
up
about
on
it.
all of this. All right, so the microtransactions.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not. This always happens, and this is the thing I always worry about is when you're commenting on a game about microtransactions but not playing it. Like I'm not playing it. You know, it's that thing where I could argue about a million other games where there's this way you could do blah 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 that I do play. You're saying this is pretty par for the course for where they're at. Do you think this is going to be one of those games that finds that hardcore audience that sticks with it now, and then they're going to update, evolve this game, and it's going to become something people would be into playing more of? Or is this kind of like a Godfall where that just never happened for them?
I think this game might have a little bit of the juice. Like, there's a lot of, I know there's mixed reactions with that, but like, there's a lot of positive feedback right now of people being into this. I think it's just the time where we're at, summertime. People are looking for something new. It's a free-to-play game that you can play with your friends. Everybody's out of school. We're looking for something fresh, something fun, and it scratches that itch of like an Anthem, a Division, that looter shooter where you just don't really have one right now unless you've grinded hard on Destiny, but you're always looking for something new, right? And so I think that's what you're seeing, this frenzy of people going, oh yeah, I like this game, or oh, this is a good time, right? I think it's just something new and fresh, and it does have something. Like I said, the gameplay, the moment to moment of you moving, you shooting, feels good, right? And if you are into, oh man, I'm chatting with my friends, oh, I'm watching SpongeBob at the same time while playing this is a game for you, right? Like if you're looking for that, if you're looking for something challenging, something that's a little more past surface level, I wouldn't recommend this. But I think people will find that. There will be the fans of like, hey, Mike, there's 3 different menus. There's modules for my characters. There's 7 different items that you can change, that you can affect your gameplay status and your stats with. I'm going to get lost in these menus. I love this. I want all of this, right? And so there is something to be said of like, it's got something there.
So here's my next question then.
Lay it on me.
Next week, another game with a very generic name comes out
Ready?
that you guys were all very excited for, Once Human. Your talk after SGF got me excited for Once
like
Human.
that.
I pushed myself onto these streams next week. I'm doing the review so far with you guys on it. Is Once Human, from the little bit you know about it, and you played it too as well, right?
Yep.
Of what you played, is that going to eat this thing's lunch next week?
No, it's going to be a different game. I think it will probably, if I had to bet, I think Once Human will have the exact same reaction that this is having right now.
Fuck.
Of like, oh,
Can we be excited for something?
In a
Okay.
positive.
Oh,
of like,
oh,
hey,
oh,
it's something new. It's something fresh. We're having fun, right? I think that's the reaction that we'll see with Once Human, but it is a different game, right?
Yeah.
This is very much a third-person Division type looter shooter vibe
zombies.
with survival crafting, right? So we're going to build a base. We're going to go out there and mine or chop down wood while also getting gear. So I think it's more a survival crafting game as opposed to that one feels like a traditional looter shooter.
Okay.
I think it being free to play, we're being in this world of like, hey, look at us. We're looking for new games this summer. I think it will get
free to play.
excited.
Is Once Human free to play as well?
I don't know. Give it a check. I think I'm hoping that's free to play. Chat, let us know. Is Once Human free to play?
It is on Steam. Steam's opening very slowly. I can add to my wish list.
Okay. Well, Rob Kraft says no. People are saying no. We'll find out.
I believe Rob Kraft is.
Yeah. I like Rob Kraft in there. And so I think this will get the same reception of we're looking for something fun to play with our friends. This is new. This is flashy. We're jumping in, right? What will have the gusto a month, 2 months, 3 months from now? We'll find out as we go. But I think both these games will get a little positive boost in the arm no matter what.
Wait a second.
What, Greg?
You're telling me this Once Human game comes out on the Apple too?
Oh, yeah.
I can play this on my phone?
Uh-huh.
I thought I had to play this on a shitty ass computer. I can play this on my phone? There's pre-register benefits
Jump
here
in
too.
right there. There's also Zenless Zone Zero, which was another game I wrote down on our stream channel to possibly check out. There's some games that are all similar that are all looking for you to jump in and feel out right there. But that's my First Descendant vibes. Not loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed the small time that I played, but I won't be going back after today's stream.
I think it's. Let me piggyback off because it's from the live chat over here that I liked, but then I also see we have a super chat in the same vein. All right, so CJ Splits on, of course, wrote in with the super chat, just like you can on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames to be part of the conversation, and says, this is why I appreciate the middle ground of $40 live service games, where you're not getting nickel and dime, and et cetera, et cetera. What I lost who said it, of course, but over here, when you were talking about, oh, there's the 3 classes, you picked one, you're locked out of the other ones until you buy them, right? Somebody said, oh, it's a pay-to-play Outriders. what does this feel compared to Outriders? Remember, we had our moment with Jakob. We loved Jakob for a while. But when I played Outriders, I found it visually exciting and everything that was going on. And like you're talking about, like just shooting Greg's balls over here didn't look that cool. But in Outriders, it always felt cool to be doing something.
Yeah, Outriders had that like old school AA feel that we always kind of joke about. And I think Outriders had a little more polish than this game. A little more detail for sure. A little more visually stunning than this. But this is right on the par with Outriders. Like if you liked Outriders, you would probably like this game, right? Because it is just shooting and looting and having a good time. We'll see. I'm excited to check out more and have a good time with this.
Okay, well, you're streaming it this afternoon, so we're looking forward to that.
I think that's the cool part about being able to work here, right? We have these discussions on Games Daily. We can jump into the stream and show it off, talk it out with people, answer your questions, show you what you think, go over the microtransactions, because you know I'm always interested in that. And we'll see where we land.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us.
How much money have you spent so far on this game?
I'm $10 in.
Fucking
I really
Jesus
want that
Christ.
outfit, so I'll probably.
You don't like the game. You said you're not playing it
I'm
anymore.
just saying I like to look cool. You know what I mean? I like to look cool in video games, people.
Play it again.
I'm on my way.
He's on his way, ladies and gentlemen.
He's on his way, everybody. Just like we're on our way to story number 2. Nintendo says no to generative AI. This comes from Evgeny Obdakov at Game World Observer. Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa touched on this topic in a recent Q&A with investors. He noted that game development and AI-like technology, quote, have always been closely related. Traditionally, the term's been used for things like simulating NPC behavior, but it's now increasingly associated with generative AI, which has become a buzzword for investors and executives trying to optimize costs. Furukawa acknowledged that Gen AI could be used creatively, but Nintendo has no plans to use it in its first-party games. The main reason is copyright issues that arise when using models trained on other people's work. Generative AI, which has been a hot topic in recent years, can be more creative, but we also recognize that it has issues with intellectual property rights. Our company's decades of know-how in creating optimal gaming experiences for our customers. While we are flexible in responding to technological developments, we hope to continue to deliver value that's unique to us and cannot be created through technology alone. This view is different from other gaming giants. For example, Electronic Arts fully embraces LLMs, with CEO Andrew Wilson thinking that more than 50% of our development processes will be positively impacted by the advances in generative AI. Take-Two also believes that AI will improve its efficiency through better tools. However, Strauss Zelnick assured that hit games will still be created by humans. Hits are created by
Until they can't.
Hits are created by genius.
Until Strauss Zelnick figures out a way to eliminate the human.
And data sets plus compute plus large language models do not equal genius. Genius is in the domain of human beings, and I believe it'll stay that way. Ubisoft's been actively working on its proprietary generative tools for a while now. Earlier this year, the publisher unveiled the Neo NPC project, which allows players to have real conversations, quote unquote, with in-game characters based on the work of real writers and artists. Lots to talk about here. I think the big starting one is like you gotta love the Nintendo. Like knows what they have, and like they make a lot of weird Nintendo decisions. But every once in a while, they show that there is a understanding of what got them to be where they are.
Yep.
And a lot of that is the creativity and just we use the word magic a lot with Nintendo, and I think that it is very earned. And it is decisions like this, but also just the way they're talking about it, and like. Specifically, Nintendo, take the AI out of it. Like thinking about how Nintendo has used technology to allow their games to work as opposed to making games that are trying to push technology forward, which I feel like a lot of the time Sony and Microsoft and others are. That seems to be more their goal. And to look at the history of Nintendo and how it's worked alongside technology, while also making some pretty off-the-wall choices. Like when you look at the 3DS, what a wild thing for Nintendo to do, to put out a glasses-free 3D product in a time that felt impossible. But the reason for them doing that was not to have some technological gimmick that is going to change the landscape of whatever. It was to allow a unique gaming experience. Didn't end up working that well necessarily for countless titles that were enhanced and better off for being able to be in 3D. But they made games with that in mind. Like you look at Mario 3D Land, right? I think it's a perfect example of Nintendo trying to use the tech to do something actually different with Mario, the most tried and true franchise there is. So
I think you're right on the money. And whether I'm famed right on the internet for not having a Nintendo nostalgia and it being my least played platform. all that said, I have to hats off to this statement, right, and this talk, and anything you'd ever want to lob at Nintendo about anything they do, I would never lob at them for not having a vision. And I think that is so important. We talk all the time, right, of like, oh, well, PlayStation, this live service thing, and then they backed off of it, and this, that, the other. Xbox, oh, we're going to go TV, DV, Call of Duty. Oh, shit, we'll swing back this way. Well, now it's all Game Pass. Shit, that, like, there's all these things where you see companies really, I wouldn't even say bending in the wind, right, but really changing course, doing all these things, trying to find the audience and do whatever. Where Nintendo, I think, sometimes at its own peril, has been like, this is what we're doing. Are you in or you out? We don't care what it's going to be.
Literally said that.
Yeah, right. We're going this way, and this is who we are, and this is what we do, and that has led to the virtual boy, right? Of like misses there, Wii U, sure, but like so many amazing things. The Wii in general, right, and the success that saw where we're like, well, that'll never happen again, right? Then you have the Switch and how that's been so dominant in what they've switched up there, and inevitably what we're going to see with the Super Nintendo Switch or Switch 2 or whatever the successor. Thank you very much. Can you get the AC while you're here? Great. Whatever you see next from that is going to be in the same vein, I would imagine. And so to have this statement not being, fuck everybody who's going the opposite way, but then being like, no, that's not the experience we make. Yeah. Nintendo is special because it is handcrafted. It is this IP that we treat with such reverence that the audience and the world treats it with the same exact reverence, where it is, when a Mario game drops, that is going to be great. Luigi's Mansion, that's going to be great. Kart, the list goes on for Nintendo properties. And I think the fact that they sit there and go, cool, this is a neat technology that's happening, we're not going to jump on it and do this thing with it right now, we're going to keep doing our thing, is awesome in this instance. And then you look at like friend codes and online and all, and like you're like, man, I wish they would have gone I wish they would have caught up with the times there. But again, you can't fuck with a machine that works so well, and Nintendo works so well. So the fact they're able to get out there and say, this is what we're doing, and that's the end of the conversation, thank you, is impressive in a day and age where everybody double speaks. Corporations put out statements that mean fucking nothing. Your CEO is saying just goddamn word soup. Like, this is impressive.
Yeah, totally. And then, there's also the I think deeper, harder conversation about trying to define these words, where people at this point, like AI to a large group of people out there, specifically like people in our space and artists in a lot of ways, or consumers of art, hear AI and they're just like, that's evil, that's bad. And it's like, well, the AI is and has been part of this entire thing forever. Then there's the other side of this where it's like there's the tech people that AI is like, and even the bad AI stuff, it's like they are thrilled by it. And I feel like there is a middle ground somewhere with that of trying to figure out like what is the good and what is the bad, and we should have conversations around that, because at this point there has to be a clear line between generative AI and then the other AI that we're talking about. But then even then within generative AI, there is like all things, it's a tool, and tools can be used for good or bad. There are so many cases of these tools being used in bad ways where it's legitimately just stealing from people that is like, this is unacceptable. And that's the type of thing that Nintendo here is saying we're not going to do. But there is also the reality that generative AI can be a tool that is not stealing. It is just expanding an image that you have because you need it to be 2 times as wide. And it's just taking the information from your own art, your own picture, to be able to expand it. That is incredible. That is a technology that is going to allow so many artists out there to be able to create what they want to without the weird limitations and restrictions that they would have had in the past. But there has to be a way to be able to talk about that and define those things and why they're different, and come up with rules and laws and things to stop stealing from happening, and to stop getting in the way of it being a tool to allow people to be creative, as opposed to something that is robbing creatives of their ability to be creative.
I feel like AI, because we've seen so many scummy uses of it so far, right, is in that, oh man, fuck AI category, which I get based on what you've seen. But I don't think it's the same as when we were all fuck NFTs. When we were like, this is stupid, horrible.
There's no value in it.
Exactly. Like, I think AI, everything you just said is completely spot on, that it's a tool and it can be used for good or bad. And I think inevitably you're going to find people who are expanding on it and using it the right way. And they are, whether it's Unreal or whoever, putting some kind of AI into their game game engine that then artists and programmers can go in and put their own things into that the machine learns from and then expands out on, like you're talking about. Like, I think that is inevitable, and I think it's easy to see it and bring up like, oh, well, Ubisoft wants to do it, so you talk to NPCs and they talk, and it's like, oh, well, it's just gonna and we're putting writers out of job. Yeah, that fucking sucks, and I also don't think that would work, and I think that would lead to a really, really shitty game. However, when we're talking about a independent team of 2 people working a part-time on their game or whatever, if they're able to use these tools that are eventually going to be made that are going to be regulated and not be able to go steal from things, if they're able to do that and then get their game out in half the time so that they can quit their jobs earlier, so that they can go all in on their dreams, so that they can make their game in a way that would actually be profitable, how can you be against that, right? Like, and again, I'm talking about a future that does not exist right now. That is not where we're at, that these tools don't exist, but I do think are going to get there inevitably, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. I want to get to story number 3. Before I do that, though, I want to give you a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by our very good friends over at NVIDIA GeForce. Kind of Funny and NVIDIA GeForce have been working together for almost 4 years now, and they were one of our first sponsors at the Spare Bedroom. So when we reached out to them to be a part of Getty's Live on Stage, Gia and I's wedding spectacular, they couldn't say no. They've harnessed the immense power of AI to make PC gaming unlike anything you or anyone else has experienced before. NVIDIA DLSS 3.5 is one of those advanced techs. It multiplies game performance and it allows you to immerse yourself in the most advanced graphics possible, like full ray tracing and realistic lighting. New features on GeForce RTX's powerful 40 series cards, like AI-enabled DLSS frame generation and DLSS ray reconstruction, put you in the game like never before. And NVIDIA Reflex reduces the latency in your gaming PC and gives you a competitive edge by reducing the time from click to on-screen action. The future is bright. Take it from all of us here at Kind of Funny. It's the best time ever to game on PC, and it's only going to get better from here, especially with NVIDIA and the awesome promise of GeForce RTX.
This episode's brought to you by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. I'm currently planning a wedding, so I know all about that. But when we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace, and it can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/kindoffunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindoffunny. Greg, would you believe Spider-Man is in Marvel Rivals?
I would.
You want to watch the trailer?
I do, yeah. I saw this going around today. The IGN put it up and have this thing, and they're like, hey, Spider-Man's coming as official. I'm like, have we seen him before? But I'm like, we've seen him, but I guess we haven't seen like a dedicated, like, here's everything he does.
Didn't they play as him?
They did, I thought.
Yeah, because they were talking about how good he felt to swing compared to Avengers.
Well, they got a cool trailer for him, and I'll tell you what, I like a good Spidey trailer.
Let's check it out.
Can we get some more audio out here?
Hi, neighbor. Spider-Man over here. Look out, bad guys.
So where are you at with Rivals? Are you going to play it?
I'm interested in it, yeah. Okay. I mean, this is the type of game that, like, this looks fun as hell, and, like, I'd love to play with everybody. I just, like, I can't see myself getting, like, super deep into this.
Yeah.
But it looks great.
It does look really cool. See, this is probably the time where we didn't see all this baghead Spider-Man.
Hey, sorry, team. There's no bad guys left.
It's like, that
Yuri's
looks
so
cool.
Good. Yuri's so good.
Yuri's amazing. Shout out to Yuri for being a great Spider-Man.
I don't know if I love all those lines of dialogue, though. Not his fault, just the writing. Like, watch out, bad guys. All right.
Well, you know what? He's fucking Spider-Man.
But I also think that's an effect of the hero shooter genre. I feel like that's how they're all kind of written. It feels very like theme parky in a way.
Yeah, but it's Marvel. It's Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I know.
Get a pun going on. Get something better than just watch out, bad guys. I'm
Would
Spider-Man.
you like cutscenes for Spider-Man and character interactions and everything? Thanks for supporting Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
You could have had that for all your
I could have.
favorites.
I could have had that. That'd be
Just
great.
give them. All they needed was 5 years to get it off the ground, but you couldn't give it to them.
Yeah.
You just had to shit all over them.
I could.
You would have had 3 characters.
I didn't
by
even
now.
like the campaign that everybody liked so much. You know what I mean? I was like, there's parts of this that are great.
Yeah.
And then there's the gameplay. So I don't know, man. I just don't know.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But Rivals, that looks cool. Spider-Man's cool. I like all the variants. Obviously, we're 1,000 years into video games existing and Spider-Man video games existing, and there's still nothing cooler than Spider-Man alt costumes. So,
Dude, right? Come on.
Somehow we're still there. Great.
I look at that, and again, the action looks good, but then I remember it's PvP, and I'm like, and then I also remember you're going to be doing some weird objective, and when that level ends, it's just into the exact same thing in another one. I'm just like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which it's fine. Not every game needs to be designed for me as a PvE fan, but
Yeah.
I just look at it, I'm like,
What if we sat down, Greg, me and you, and we're just like, we're just committing. We're just committing just for a day.
subathon stream, you and me.
You and me.
We go as long as the audience wants, playing
Oh my
Marvel
God, I don't know
Rivals.
about that, but I don't think it's that.
I'm
give it to a stream though of like
I'm down.
of us pushing them just like, hey, let's try to get into this. Let's do the objective. Let's push the stupid truck to the end of the thing.
Yep.
Which I like.
You're
as a
thinking of
concept.
Suicide Squad, but I understand.
I hate you so fucking much.
It's true.
I hate you so much. I was thinking, watch.
I mean, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. I want to give it a shot. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Again, like I've talked a million times, like, I never liked an MMO till DC Universe Online. So it's like there are genres and properties that will bring
all
me
you
in
need is
and
exactly.
get me to the right way to be like, oh
coat
shit, I
of
do want
paint.
this.
Well, Greg,
Yeah.
do I have something for you? Story number 4. The Watchdog movie is happening.
Jesus Christ.
All right. This comes from Deadline.
No, it's just the tweet.
Yeah, it's just
The tweet is the news.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they,
yeah.
all of a sudden today we just get this fucking tweet. Lights_camera_action.exe. Everybody, if you're not a PC gaming nerd, that's an executable. So like that's in the Watchdogs all about hacking and stuff. So that's what they're doing there. Hashtag Watchdogs movie /@New Regency.
Deadline in March reported that following her breakout role in the A24 horror hit Talk to Me, Sophie Wilde has found her follow-up project as she's in talks to star in New Regency's Watchdogs, an adaptation of the popular Ubisoft hit video game. The film is set within the universe of Ubisoft's blockbuster video game franchise of the same name, with over 50 million players. The film is being directed by acclaimed French genre director Matthew Turi. Cool. Every game has a movie or a show.
We're looking at this.
Yeah.
What are you getting? Yeah, Tim, one of my favorite texts to you of all time.
Mhm.
I forget what it was. I was watching some shitty movie, and I texted you, and I was just like, how is it that you know a movie's going to be bad by how it like? Why do some movies look great and some movies you turn on, you're like, oh, this is not going to be good already? Like, just
Yeah.
and you had an answer that I already forgot what it
I don't
was.
remember.
Cameras, probably lighting. I think lighting is. What you actually
lighting.
put it to.
Lighting is the answer.
So you look at this. We just have the slate, a hacker at his computer back there getting ready to fucking pull some Sandra Bullock the net shit and order a pizza. Is this going to be a real movie? Like, it's
Yes.
okay. It's not going to be just going to be on Amazon Prime. It's going to be in a theater. And
Oh,
it's like,
this is going to be a real movie.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, I think so. It's very hard to tell just based off
I know, you
of,
can't
of
even see
this
the
shot
person. You can't
here.
even see
But
the
yeah,
person.
no, I imagine this is going to be a big budget enough movie that actually gets in theaters for 2 weeks and then sent home to die because of people like you, Greg. But yeah, I feel like this is something that I think all of us could be like, who's asking for this? And we'll have to wait and see.
For
I
the
think
first
that
comment there, yeah.
well, yeah, and I'm not surprised by that because of the type of property Watch Dogs is.
Yeah.
And when you think adaptations of things, you want kind of characters to be able to hold on to and stories that are memorable and all those things that I don't think Watch Dogs necessarily is known for.
Watch Dogs 2.
Not to say that Watch Dogs 2 didn't have a cast that
But
people
I'm
did
gonna
enjoy.
say, like, can we name Eddie one of those characters?
Marcus.
Yeah, you don't need to be able to name characters you love. You know what I mean?
Though? Okay.
All right.
I just did.
Avatar's a perfect example. But the thing with this though is that I feel like there's something that is a easy hook of hacking movies. People like hacking movies, and it's been a while since we've had a good hacking movie. And I think
Swordfish.
that we could again. You know what I mean? We had them all in the 80s, and then there was that early 2000s rush. I feel like the children are clamoring, Greg, for a good hacking movie. They just don't know it yet. Will it
Maybe.
be Watch Dogs? I don't necessarily think so, but I do think that there is an opportunity there for this to hit a different type of audience. I think it's a bit weird that they are seemingly giving up on Watch Dogs as a franchise in video games while also working on
How
this.
do you know? You're not inside. You don't know.
Well, didn't they say that?
I don't remember.
I think they did. I think recently, like in the last year, they were talking about moving on from Watch Dogs. Correct me if I'm wrong somewhere there, but like I think that's just a bit weird because we see the numbers of how these adaptations work, where when they're good and they come out, it boosts game sales dramatically. So would seem like they'd want to kind of double down on that, even if it was just a remake or like I don't even know, like some type of re-release of the games. I can't believe there was a third one.
Yeah,
Watch Dogs Legion is one of the most no fucking way that game actually came out and was real games to me, because it feel like it just got announced and then released, and it was a big old game. It just released at like maybe the worst time ever for it.
Yeah, wasn't it like PS5 launch and it also like launched near Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is from Game Rant, a rumor Ubisoft may be quietly retiring the Watch Dogs series. So
This was 2 years ago, two and a half.
Yeah, I have one here from Game Central, April 2024. Watch Dogs franchise is, quote, dead and buried, end quote, but Far Cry isn't, says Ubisoft Insider. My favorite part is that then I go, oh, I see. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. I was going to give them some journalistic shit there, but I see that they're translating some French talk over here, so that makes more sense. Okay. So that's what they're saying over there. Writing on Twitter in French, regular Ubisoft source, Jonathan stated, quote, Watch Dogs is basically finished at this point. The flop of Legion destroyed the license's projects, including a pretty original battle royale. So, number one, I'm going to go back to giving them the shit of you can't put in your headline, quote, dead and buried, end quote, and then not have dead and buried be the quote in the fucking article that I'm control F'ing trying to find to jump to because I'm live on a show.
Not good.
And then secondly, yeah, it is weird that they'd still be doing a movie for a thing they're not supporting with or anything. Now, of course, maybe they just remaster 2 and put that out and do that thing or whatever. Because 2 was the best. What up?
And I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, The Witcher didn't. I know The Witcher is a weird one to use as an example because of how licensing works, and the show's technically based on the books or whatever. But they didn't need to put out a new game for that to boost the sales of the Witcher game. So
yeah,
we have a super chat from Corey Clark, which just real quick, Greg. I know we're in that weird era of the DCU is about to begin.
I'll tell you what, when you made a DCEU reference during your wedding vows, I almost shouted it out, but I stopped myself.
Yeah, I had to.
The audacity to use the fucking Man of Steel soundtrack and then shit on the DCEU 5 minutes later. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's all I got, Greg. You got to use the good that they give you, but then also criticize the bad, which is everything else besides the Man of Steel theme song. Are we going to go see Justice League? Zack Snyder's Justice League in theaters? No, I think I'm okay.
You sure?
I think I'm okay.
On the big screen.
Yeah. I don't like all the set leak stuff just because I just feel like it takes away the magic of we're just in a bad era of like the paparazzi. It's too far. We're too far. Yeah, with everything. All movies. It just ruins it. It ruins the movies because everyone feels like, oh, I saw the movies, and they see it like, it wasn't that good. Like, oh, there was no cameos, even though there was a million. You just were spoiled on them all. Doesn't matter. But you must be feeling fucking good right now.
Oh my God. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm seeing all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell any of this is, but this seems like everything Greg Miller's been talking about wanting for 10 years.
And I like how James Gunn has been like, he's quoted yesterday, I think, of just like, the leaked photos aren't going to spoil the movie, don't worry, or whatever. So it's like, I feel like they're just doing such establishing stuff, but like that fucking shot of David Cornsweet, we're like doing this and he's stomping in the water, splashing up, and he's saving a puppy or a cat, I can't remember what it is, and catching whatever it is. It's like, oh my God.
It's like the amount of characters around him. I'm like, this is just wild.
Did you see the one yesterday? Again, like this is one I don't think is a spoiler because like you'd have to be if you don't know, you're watching this, how would you know of like Christopher Reeve, his son, is going to do a cameo as a reporter? I'm like, that's so fucking good.
Yeah, they care. They seem to be doing it right. But Corey Clark writes in saying the new Watch Dogs movie starts filming, apparently. Y'all have any other game adaptations you're excited for? Did everyone watch Arcane Season 2? I didn't even know it was out. Is it out?
I don't watch Arcane. I don't know.
Oh, well, that is exciting if it is. I am so excited for Twisted Metal Season 2. New information came out. Madison from She-Hulk. She's cast.
That's huge.
That's
a big get.
Gonna be
That's
big.
a big get.
That is perfect. That's what I want.
Yeah.
More of that. And the dude from Barry, that I didn't watch Barry, but the bald guy in Barry.
No, Hank from Superman. He's a bad guy, Superman.
Oh, yeah. He's Calypso, which is like the big
No
bad
shit, that's
in
great.
Twisted Metal.
Okay.
It's perfect stuff. Very excited.
Just reporting on air that Arcane Season 2 is not out.
Okay.
Comes out in November.
It's video game adaptations. Last of Us Part 2, of course. Excited to see what's going to happen with that one, right? Whatever the next Mario movie is going to be. There's something I'm forgetting.
I'm still fascinated by the God of War Amazon project.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I'm anticipating it, but I'm just like I'm curious about it.
Nightlife says it could help move the stock. Fallout surprised us. Yeah, there was no new Fallout project.
Barrett, hit my music!
Here comes the money.
I'm impressed. I didn't think it was going to be in the
It's been
system.
a while.
Here comes the money.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to your favorite reoccurring kind of funny games daily segment, Greg's Sound Financial Advice, where I tell you how to invest your money on the stock market. As you know, quite a long time ago, we reported on the Ubisoft shares of stock, and we said it was like low, but I was like, whatever. And then I asked Kevin if I could if I could do $100 of an investment just as an experience, but it was, because then it's not a conflict of interest if I tell you that. Kevin said to do it. Now, when did I do it? I'll tell you, it must have been a long time ago. Because when I dial it back a year to date, the stock's never been as high as what I paid for it. All right. I bought it at $5.33, thinking slam dunk. We'll be back to that in no time. Today we're trading at $4.16.
Okay.
So what I will reiterate is there's no better time to buy than right now. $4.16. You think when Assassin's Creed drops this year, you think when Star Wars Outlaws drops this year and gets some great pricing, it's not going to be perfect. And this isn't the time. It's going up. And then eventually you're getting this movie. And is it going to be great? You know it's going to be great.
Oh, God.
Same thermos, same cap. That's another episode. Buy it right now, or guess what? Your kids probably aren't going to college.
Who wants that, everybody? We got a couple of super chats. Mike Wells saying laundry day is a very dangerous day.
Rocco's Modern Life. Never forget.
Never fucking forget. Missouri Matt 54 says, thank you for your content. Also, let's remember the passing of Giant Bomb's Ryan Davis, who passed away 11 years ago today.
Yeah, Steve Kim put out his little honorary post that he did 11 years ago. That was 11 years ago to the day, right, when it all happened. It was a very sad and touching moment, you know what I mean? But yeah, Ryan Davis, gone far, far too soon. A tragedy.
And then Michael Wilson says, this is in reference to First Descendant, saying, I think it's impressive a game can have this much production and hype and still be so bad. Things got more fun when I unlocked Bunny, but this game's got a week-long half-life at most.
Because, of course, Once Human will be upon us next week. By the way, confirming it is free to play. I went through my inbox trying to find stuff. Once Human is free to play. A free-to-play multiplayer open-world survival game set in post-apocalypse for PC and Steam. So I don't think Apple is launching next week. But that's classic.
Story number 5. The Master Sword lands man in jail. This comes from Victoria Kennedy at Eurogamer.
Remember Mr. Kennedy? Oh my God. Mr. Kennedy.
One of the most unfortunately timed WWE superstars ever. He could have been LA Knight. He could have been huge, but he just got robbed of the opportunity. They got sent to TNA to die. The whole thing. A Legend of Zelda fan has been sentenced to 4 months in prison after being found in possession of a small replica of the series Master Sword whilst out in public. I love when motherfuckers drop whilst. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's Eurogamer. Victoria Kennedy's probably very fancy.
In June, Nuneaton resident Anthony Bray was arrested for carrying a bladed article. CCTV operators noticed Bray with the Master Sword replica, which had a total blade length of 6 inches. The blade was inside a sheath and could be released from the sheath with the press of a button. When questioned, Bray said the Master Sword replica was purchased online as a fidget toy. Officers explained that despite this being the intended purpose, the blade was in fact a sharply pointed item which could be used as a weapon and might put others in fear of being used against them. Bray maintained he would not have used the Legend of Zelda sword replica as an actual weapon. Bray did, however, acknowledge it could have been perceived as threatening.
6-inch blade in your hand? Yeah.
Well, at full health, he could, we take a zero tolerance to bladed articles in public, and Bray has fallen afoul of this. That's from the sergeant. The fucking sergeant had to say that. It's possible to find fidget toys that aren't 6-inch blades. It's possible not to walk down the street holding them out in front of you. With a bit more self-awareness, Bray could have avoided contact with us completely. Bray's now required to pay a victim surcharge of $154, whatever the hell, euros, I guess, in addition to serving the aforementioned prison sentence.
Imagine, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. This isn't going the way you think, probably. Don't get me wrong. I know UK, England has their own sets of problems. But imagine living in a society this civilized of like, hey, you can't have a knife. You're going to have to go to jail, right? Because if I want to walk around San Francisco with an AR right now, there's some law that says I can, and then when you come to try to take it from me, it's going to be this big fucking political brouhaha, and the article isn't going to read like this.
This is wild.
Where the guy's like, yeah, I'm sorry I had it. I'll pay the thing, and I'll do the 4 months. And the guy's like, you could have avoided us completely. It's like, shake hands. I'm going to jail. I'll see you later. Versus me talking about my fucking freedom and the Second Amendment and all this dumb bullshit.
I mean, even take that stuff away. That you're right. But even that's so extreme. Like, I just feel like the amount of people that just have shit walking around, like them talking about this as if it's a fucking blade is hilarious. Like, what is it, a letter opener or some shit?
No.
You know?
It's not
small,
a fidget toy.
tiny. It's not a fidget thing, but also, like, people are weird. People have weird fidget shit all the time.
Sure.
But, like just thinking about multi-tools that I'm not going to name any names, but somebody that might walk around with the multi-tool here at Kind of Funny.
And they tried to take it on a plane multiple times.
Yeah, but I'm sure that is way worse than this replica master sword. That's not a problem.
Again, I feel like I looked around, there's a lot of people reporting on this. This is the hot, like, off-the-wall story today or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody's quoting this article or articles like this that are leaving something out. Where because like the sergeant talks about him, you know, blah, 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 6-inch blade, not possible walking down the street, holding them out in front of you. So I assume this man's walking around like this. You know what I mean? Like in an intimidating fashion, more than spitting a blade in his hand or whatever the hell he's doing with it.
Yeah. That is the thing, that like the way they talk about how he's holding it, I'm like, we don't know the real story here. But it's like, if it was just him chilling with this thing and somebody like called him out for it and he got in trouble, that's fucking weird. If he was being a weirdo walking around with a small sword, all right, buddy, you should go to jail.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can't wait for my replica master sword to get here, Greg. But it's not the small one. It's the big one. It's the real big one.
Is this true? I don't know what's happening.
Oh yeah, it's
really?
true.
You got a replica?
Oh yeah, they put like a couple of weeks ago. They announced it, and I was like, I can't not buy this thing.
Okay.
Is
it going to the theater? Where's it going?
I don't know where
Above
it's going to go, but it's incredibly cool and it's incredibly big. Greg.
Nice.
It's so big.
So big.
It's so
impossibly big.
But if I wanted to know what's coming to mom and grop shop, I fucked up.
You go to our last story, the We News channel, where we cover all the tiny news items you need to know about.
You've almost landed the plane,
So,
Tim.
I got thrown off a little.
I've done it now where I do if I want to know the smallest news coming to the mom and grop shops, mom and grop shops with the smallest news, you can still fucking do it. You're fine.
It's We News.
You still crushed the opening. You know what I mean?
Thank you. It's We News, everyone. VGC says 3 classic Battlefield games are being delisted on older consoles. Battlefield 3, 4, and Hardline will be pulled from sale on 360 and PS3 this month. VGC also reports the personal data of Spike Chunsoft staff may have been leaked in last week's ransomware hack over at Kadokawa, which was reported because it owns From Software.
We talked about that FromSoft thing last week, and then this is in addition to it.
The Battlefield 2042 team has unveiled a new one-of-a-kind surprise collaboration, an iconic crossover with the sci-fi survival horror classic Dead Space. The singular, limited-time event Outbreak will run for 1 week, starting on Tuesday, July 9th through Tuesday, July 16th. In Outbreak, squads are tested by their human resilience and resourcefulness against a new and relentless enemy, all while trying to escape the Boreas laboratory. Today, 3 new games launched on Apple Arcade: Outlanders 2, Second Nature, Punch Kick Duck Plus, and Zen Koi Plus Pro.
It's awesome they're still doing that.
The Apple Arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's still just happening over there.
Yeah. Magical Delicacy is coming to Nintendo Switch on August 15th. On July 15th, Toem leaves Xbox Game Pass.
This is your last chance to go visit Porty for free. Go get it.
Yesterday, we reported on layoffs at Surgent Studios, the tales of Kanzera, Zhao, Debs. Abu put out the following statement. Thank you so much to those who have checked in. This hurts deeply. This isn't the news I wanted to share today. I'm so proud of what the team have achieved over the course of these 4 years. When things got tough, every one of them stood so strong. It was inspiring. So to be delivering this news today really sucks. I know we're not alone here, but that doesn't make it easier. The focus now is to continue supporting those affected in any way we can. I'll be replying to this with links to posts from our affected team members. If you have any opportunities available or know of any, please consider these incredibly talented people. He then goes on to link each person and what they do and all of that. So yeah, horrible stuff out there, man. I was going back and forth with him yesterday a little bit, and yeah, he obviously devastated by this, did not want this to be the outcome of everything. And it's hard out there, man. This industry is a tough place to be. Moving on. It's time for a thing I like to call You're Wrong, Greg.
You're wrong.
Throughout the show, people can correct us when we get things wrong. Kebab's writing in with some fucking bullshit.
I hate it, kebabs.
Kebabs, come on, man. 154 euros is 166 US dollars. Thank you. Thank you for that information. I didn't get anything wrong, though. I
No.
didn't say anything wrong.
One thing that's like not, I mean, even really breaking news, but in line with what we're talking about, while we were talking about First Descendant, they've tweeted, "We have noticed the game connections are temporarily unavailable. We apologize for the inconvenience caused by this error. We're promptly working to identify the cause and resolve it. Once it's resolved, we'll make a prompt notice." So right now, I guess you can't play First Descendant. So we'll keep you updated on that one. Maybe we pivot to Diablo.
Alex Frazier writes in with a super chat saying it's not the size of the blade, it's how you use it. I think this guy was using it inappropriately. And that's all. That's all the super chats we got. That's our show. What a great one. Greg and Tim. Tim and Greg. Barrett. He's here. We're here. Get used to it, everybody. We're about to do even more fun stuff. This next show, Gamescast.
Yeah.
Same group, me, you. Guess what? Mike's joining us. I think Roger's joining us too.
That's true.
What a squad.
It's the Fantasy Critic check-in.
We're checking in.
Can
Everyone's
anyone
been
stop
wanting
Greg
this.
Miller? No.
Are you number one? We'll have to wait and see. We'll talk about that in just a sec. If you're watching on YouTube, you can stay right. If you're watching on Twitch, you can stay right here. If you're watching on YouTube, you need to jump over to the other video. But either way, we love and appreciate you. We'll talk to y'all later.
Hold on. It's the first time we're doing this. Remember, don't fuck it up. Our first time doing the new sign-off, you and me. Until next time, remember, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Power of the
Ring to
rings.
ring. You know what I mean? We're married. Not to each